it's Romy. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Taurus, this is your April 2020 reading. So if you're a sun, a rising or a moon, this is a general reading, but it might resonate for you. If you'd like to connect with me, you can also find me over on my website, romywyser.com, on Instagram and Facebook, and I have a membership group over on Patreon. So we're going to go ahead and put your cards down. If you'd like to join me for the extended reading, you can find the link for that in the description box below. Let's see what's coming out this season for you.
Okay, Taurus. So Aries season is all about 12th house for you. So there's a real beautiful flow of healing, release and closure that's taking place through this first part of April. And I think that's going to serve you well with the current backdrop. It's almost like so many of us don't know where we're at in relation to so many aspects of our life right now, and for you to be working with that energy in a supportive way through your 12th house is actually going to help in some ways prepare you and allow you to adjust and adapt and go with the flow. You know, there's a sense of being able to work with that subconscious and the deeper part of your psyche to really allow things to unfold in the way that is being divinely orchestrated. But we open your reading with the full energy, and I think this is you in preparation. You know, we are going to be moving into your season toward the end of the month, and it is in readiness for what comes next. I think many of you, as you open up into this month, are feeling a sense of liberation. So even though the path that has been presented may not quite look or feel the way that you expected or anticipated it to, in its own way, it has afforded you some blessing. You know, maybe some of you are finding more time than you expected to have. Maybe some of you are finding that you are free from a restriction of a heavy burden or a responsibility. Maybe some of you are being given the opportunity to take some time out from a situation, a relationship that was kind of going nowhere fast. So for me, the full energy is inviting you to take the possibility and the opportunity out of the current circumstances, knowing that it doesn't mean you need to have a complete rewrite. You know, there will be aspects of what is going on in your life that will be temporarily put on pause, and that's okay, because perhaps there's something else that you need to go and explore right now. Explore within yourself as we work through that 12th house energy. Explore about what it is that you want, or perhaps tweaks and changes that you need to make to the vision. Perhaps it's because you're grounded, stable, consistent, stoic energy is needed in certain areas right now and will be called upon. So the Fool is inviting you to see the best of what is emerged around you, and to give you that sense of positive outlook as to what is about to come in through Taurus season for you. Now, on the 3rd of April, we have Venus moving into the sign of Gemini, okay? In this placement, Venus likes to connect. It invites us, particularly through electronic means, you know, to keep things light, to keep things informative, but to keep things fun. And I think that there is this aspect with the Fool. It's also inviting you to say, how can you bring more lightness and play and curiosity into your day-to-day right now? Venus in Gemini activates your 2nd house of worth. It also has you looking at your material world, you know. So again, it's perhaps the exploration of what might be changing or adjusting in that area of your life. So we invite in the Queen of Wands energy. I love the fire of this, very Aryan energy. Perhaps you are dealing with a fire sign, Taurus, Aries, Sagittarius or Leo, but for me, this is about you stepping into that creative energy, stepping into that warrior of love energy, stepping into the space that says, even here, even now, I can, more so than ever before perhaps, manifest and see the emergence of so many things that I've been waiting to enjoy, I've been waiting to receive. You know, that beautiful vortex energy is wide open, and your thought forms are imperative right now, Taurus, more so than any other time, as we approach on the 4th this Jupiter and Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, activating that 9th house for you. This is the first of 3 between these two planets, the second June 30th, the third on November 12th. It's a incredibly intense, powerful, ambitious energy, a call to arms, if you like, where there is opportunity, there is luck, there is swiftness, but we want to be on the right side of it. We want to be on the right side of that karmic unfolding. And so the way that you approach things, the way that you bring your energy to bear, the way that your thought forms are holding your attention each and every moment of the day is absolutely crucial. You know, the full energy invites us to be very present, and in that presence you can then activate the heart and the drive and the ignition of that Queen of Wands to truly create something really beautiful in your world. And that might be just a complete change of mindset right now. It might mean the way that you are creating a sacred space for those loved ones around you. It might be the way that you are coming to new solutions about how you can rework things or make the adjustments necessary to allow for new opportunities and abundance to continue to flow towards you. But I really like the power and the presence of what's opening up in your reading. We have the Queen of Cups stepping forward. Now, on this 7th, we've got a beautiful full moon coming in the sign of Libra. Libra for you is 6th house, Taurus. So this is about how can I be of service, right? It's a really progressive full moon, and it wants to try and bring in some balance, okay? But in that 6th house is a lot of self-care, and the Queen of Cups is saying, I need to be deeply compassionate and healing toward myself, first and foremost, and then I can support those people around me. She's deeply intuitive. She is the medicine woman. She is the healer. And for many of you, you will be in that environment where you are being called up to support, to heal, to nurture, to be that listening soul, to hold space. And you can do that so beautifully, Taurus. You've got that lovely, grounded, earthy energy that can make people feel safe. But we need to make sure that you feel safe first and foremost, because then you can activate all of that power energy to nurture and tend to these beautiful souls that look to you for guidance, for wisdom, for inspiration. You know, the Queen of Cups is a very receptive energy, and we need to be careful not to absorb the wrong type of energy, Taurus. So be very mindful that, again, your thought forms, the way you choose to absorb information through this month of April is coming in on the right frequency. You know, take in the intuitive knowing of your higher self. Allow the Queen of Cups to deliver divine guidance, not from lower based or channels that are coming in on just a bad vibe, you know, because in the state that you're in through April, you will absorb very, very quickly. It will derail your sense of stability, and then we're going to have issue with you being able to support and provide that sense of healing to others. So remember to tap into that full energy, to be present, to be curious, to be open, to look on the optimistic side at all times. That is where you can activate this fire energy to then be able to offer the healing both to yourself and others. Really important. Queen of Cups, of course, could be a water sign that you're dealing with, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces energy, male or female. I do have a sense that they may be in a weakened or a very sensitive state through the month of April, and perhaps really need extra energy and support from you. And again, I feel like you're in a strong place to do that when you take care of yourself first, and you're approaching things from a kind of almost like day to day. You know, it's like, okay, I'm just going to start fresh again this morning. I'm going to ground and protect my energy, and I'm going to move forward with that sense of intention. You know, full moon in Libra is going to be like that call to arms for you in the 6th house. It's going to drive you to want to do more, to want to help, to want to step up, to want to put perhaps one or two things by the wayside just for now. Don't worry though, with this Three of Wands, we've got a very clear vision of what the future is about for us. We're not losing any of that prioritization, okay? It just feels for me that actually what takes place through this month of April is going to gift you something else, and maybe that's just an awakening or an illumination, or it's contacts or connections that are coming in. A lot of the work you've already done is going to bear some fruit this month actually for you, Taurus, and I think in some fairly unexpected ways, but you are really going to welcome that. You know, don't be afraid to be bold and be strong and be direct in terms of the things that you are still looking to create and to bring into your world, because it's by almost like stepping up and taking the reins and being in charge and kind of owning that you help to keep others motivated and moving and focused towards their goals and ambitions too. You know, things need to keep moving, and I feel like you're perfectly poised to be able to rally both yourself and others really powerfully through this month of April. And actually on the 11th, Mercury moves into the sign of Aries, which is your 10th house. It gives you that opportunity to have the real quick thinking, and you know, this is in your 10th house of career, ambition, of long-term planning. So it's going to be around for the next few weeks in this sign, really helping you to keep an eye on what comes next. You know, yes, we have to deal with the day-to-day kind of unfolding that's happening and changing at a rapid rate right now, but everything else doesn't need to get lost in the meantime. And I think that you are going to find a renewed sense of ambition and drive to really make sure that something stays on track. Ace of Swords, I really love for you right at the center of the reading. This is the opportunity for many of you to wipe the slate clean. Perhaps you need that in terms of connections or a specific area that was very out of balance. Remember, a full moon in Libra will illuminate what is starkly out of balance in your world, and then invite in the healing, particularly in your 6th house, what you need to do to be progressive in a certain area, and especially around that self-care aspect. I also think there's a need for some very direct, truthful conversations to take place, both with yourself and others. Do not be afraid, Taurus. This conversation will absolutely be necessary in order to help something to be able to move. We can't allow for any stagnant energy right now. And even if the truth hurts, either because you're having to deliver it or you're on the receiving end of it, and there's a little bit of fractious energy that emerges from that, on the whole, this is going to be incredibly positive, not just for you, but for those that you are connected, and the priorities and the goals that you have in place at the moment. Okay, so the more truthful you can be, the more clarity is going to emerge for you. And actually, I guess that's a bit of a theme that I see coming up in April, Taurus, for you, is this sense of clarity. Now, as we work through 12th house in Aries season, I feel there could be those moments where you're slightly more in the uncertainty, but as soon as we hit 19th and that sun illuminates your sign and you're into your solar returns, this is when I really see the Ace of Swords energy kind of swooping in, and it's going to happen quickly, you know. And then we approach that beautiful new moon for you on the 22nd, a complete reset, and you know, that's really what's happening on the wider collective right now, an opportunity for this reset. King of Swords coming through, so this could be an air sign, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, but I also feel like it just could be somebody that you're maybe having a little bit of a challenging encounter or situation with at the moment. I do feel that this individual has good ideas, good thoughts, good strategies, but for whatever reason, I think you're being called or directed to look elsewhere, or to perhaps dig deeper and think about what your intuition is telling you about a situation. So in some regards, I feel like you don't really want to take too much on board from this individual, and I think that's okay. I don't see any sort of permanent damage or sort of issue that can't then be resolved, but I think right now there's an aspect of this person being a little bit immovable in terms of what their thoughts and feelings are. And remember, what's happening just now is activating an awful lot of trigger for an awful lot of people, so everyone's kind of going through that deeper self-reflective period. And for you in the 12th house, things could feel at times a little bit odd, and it could feel for you that people's behaviors and attitudes towards you seem very out of line or out of kilter. You just need to keep checking in with where your own energy is at, asking yourself the question, what am I projecting? How am I owning and being of service? Where am I sure that my integrity and my heart expression is in alignment with my truth? But honestly, I wouldn't feel like overly concerned about this individual right now. It may be that they're one of the people that just needs to kind of get put to the side for a short time, or you just need to refocus or redirect your energy. Okay, I do have you kind of turning your back, and even with that full energy sort of looking in a different direction, not in a way that says like I'm completely dismissing you. It's just, I hear you, but right now I need to be present and I need to focus on other things. And I think if that is the way that you're feeling, Taurus, I think you just need to honor and go with the flow of that. Okay. Okay, so we have King of Wands energy also coming through, which could be a fire sign, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. But honestly, I think that this is again more in alignment with where you are trying to be resourceful, trying to focus on how you take care of the needs of you and your loved ones. You are being given really interesting ideas. You're being given very interesting opportunities to connect with some very unusual or different sorts of people than you ordinarily would. I want you to be very open-minded to that. Keep your mind open, keep your heart open, because I think in contrast to whoever this King of Swords represents, for me, the energy of the King of Wands could also indicate somebody coming in that's going to be far more helpful, far more compassionate, far more focused on trying to help support you, but still allow you to be able to do your thing right now. Okay, so I have this kind of almost like in the background energy, but very supportive, inclusive, very networking type of energy coming forward from that King of Wands, but also the illumination of ideas that are coming to you. This is the resourcefulness that you need. This is that kind of entrepreneurial spirit that says, okay, I don't have to sit back and wait for that help to be directed my way. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to get up and out ahead of things. Wonderful strategist for down the line as well. Three of Wands, King of Wands is also about you looking about what comes next. So even though we have the ask of you being very present and sort of taking the day as it comes, you're like, it's almost like you're holding space this month, Taurus, to also be open and rightly so, to feel positive about where you might find yourself in the coming weeks and months, and how what has transpired these past days and what will continue to in the coming weeks is actually going to serve you in many ways that you couldn't have possibly imagined up to now. So I really like the inclusion of this energy in your reading. I think it's going to bolster you. It's going to give you a sense of energy and vitality and absolute enthusiasm about certain aspects of your life and what you can change and how you can go about changing that down the line. And I think some of you will have some really wonderful new solutions that not only could help you but also others. And I think it's important that you use that voice and put those ideas forward, because I think the collective need to hear them right now. Okay, so we have Four of Swords energy coming through. It's your retreat time, isn't it? It's your retreat time. I mean, some of you may well be dealing with people who really require extra support and healing energy from you right now. I think many of you will be afforded extra time and space to really be considerate about what your soul is asking of you and what it needs right now. Of course, that 12th house is about a deep time of healing. Four of Swords is going to let you connect in to your higher self. Use the time for more meditation. Use the time to consider that sacred self-care routine that you can put in place. Use that full moon in Libra to illuminate what has been neglected, what has been ignored, what now has time to be considered thoughtfully and gently. I think if some of you are feeling a little bit burnt out or drained energetically or dealing with other things, that you're also being afforded the opportunity to think through what matters and what the priorities are moving forward. But against the King of Wands, I also see that there's a tremendous amount of support and a gallant effort to make sure that you are supported, you are looked after in numerous ways. But for me, that Four of Swords, think about it as your retreat, a sacred time of retreat to really call all of your energy back in, to reevaluate, to think about what comes next, but also be prepared for some swift and beautiful unfoldings to come in that may well surprise you and deliver more bounty than you had expected. Yeah, absolutely. Nine of Cups. There is this sense of like sweetness that comes through, there is a reminder that we don't need to move through April with any kind of energy of greed, because everything is coming to each of us in the way that it's divinely time to do. And I think that you're right to feel a sense of emotional peace when that comes through. And actually, the Four of Swords and Nine of Cups, for me, there is a sense of peace. There is. And perhaps, again, what we need to do is remove ourselves from this King of Swords energy, and actually that's going to deliver for some of you a sense of respite anyway. Maybe you just need to shut out the noise. Maybe the King of Swords just represents, aspects of, hearing certain type of media or certain type of information that just isn't serving or helping your mental or emotional well-being right now. But regardless, I see you as we move toward the end of April, being re-energized, coming back around to a place of like getting to know yourself again, ready to step into that solar returns energy with a sense of how can I share this goodness, how can I share this positivity, how can I share this resourcefulness, where can I pull people together, where can I start to focus my efforts to really see the results. You have some big, bold ideas that are going to form through this month of April, and you will start to put them into action, I think sooner than you expect. And I would say that the universe is going to come in with more support than you're going to expect at this time to help make that happen. Okay, your oracle card, the Healing Temple of the Lunar Light, life cycles, energy, healing, communication. This beautiful waterfall is just, for me, the indication of the emotions just flowing through. Just allow them, and there are times through April where you're going to feel the calmness and the stillness, and there are times that those waves are going to feel rapid and chaotic and a little bit unsettled, and you just have to allow that to take place, because there's a tremendous amount of healing happening on an individual and a collective level right now. That full moon is illuminating your healing, and I think as we're in 12th house for Aries season, as we have that 6th house illuminated in the full moon in Libra on the 7th, for you Taurus, it is a time, if you allow yourself that Four of Swords retreat, to really be recharged, to allow something to release, to let go, and know that you are being nurtured, being protected, and that there is a spiritual evolution that's happening in a really powerful way right now, and that temple, that sacred temple, is somewhere that you can visit within your mind. It's somewhere that you can create within your own environment, just making sure that you have that sacred space. If you're in and around a lot of people in the home environment right now, or even if you are isolated and on your own, you can still create that beautiful sacred energy to make sure that you can connect into that divine guidance that is coming through, reminding you of exactly where you're going and of the beauty and the opportunity that is set to unfold for you. Not in months and years to come, but in days and weeks. So we're just going to go ahead and pull a astrology card here. Oh, 2 came out here. Let's go with it. Eclipse in Libra, reevaluate relationships, and eclipse in Scorpio, regeneration. Wow, okay, so we have this full moon happening in Libra. So for many of you, it is going to be a time to help you reevaluate those key relationships in your life and with yourself. And of course, it's a time with Scorpio, that profound sense of transformation, metamorphosis, standing firm in the eye of the storm. You know, I think right now you are being asked to dig deep. You are being asked to really pull out the best of yourself to help not only you but others around you. And I think you are going to step up and show up in amazing ways through this month of April, Taurus. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed your insight. If you would like to join me for the extended reading, I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of cards. So think about a key question if I haven't covered it in the cards right now, and we will explore that in more detail in the extended. Okay, so I'm going to pop those down there. Now I'm just going to pull some clarifying cards for your reading, Taurus. Let's see what comes out. So the Fool brings forward the Hierophant and the Six of Wands. Hierophant, of course, linked into your sign, Taurus. Divine guidance and spiritual learning happening. Card of Justice coming through with the Queen of Wands. That Libra energy very strong for you this month. Could well be dealing with a Libra. Two of Cups as well coming in with that. Maybe this is about a relationship situation. Okay, Queen of Cups, Eight of Wands. Magician. If you want to join me for the extended, the link is in the description box below. We'll talk for another 20 minutes or so about this reading and just unearth some additional messages for you. So High Priestess, Queen of Swords, again another air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I kind of want to link to what was going on back in Libra season as well, where we had that full moon in Aries, because we've just come out of this new moon Aries. So there's something about the cycle of that being really important for what you might be dealing with right now, especially in terms of release and letting go and an ending or a completion to something. Oh. So King of Swords has Seven of Cups, Five of Wands. Let's take a look at this King of Wands. Two of Swords and Death card. A lot of regeneration energy coming in. Four of Swords, Four of Wands, respite, retreat, and the home. Six of Cups. And the Nine of Cups delivers the Empress. Beautiful. Okay, Taurus, if you'd like to join me, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate you. Please make sure you've subscribed or you drop me a like and a comment if you'd like to support my work. And I look forward to connecting with you next month. Take care. Bye for now.